I'm going to be working on a trend that I'm, let's be honest, completely way too late on. There is this online game named Wordle, which is, you know, a game where you guess a 5-letter word using other 5-letter words, and it's surprisingly entertaining, and for a Dutch guy like me, severely difficult. Now, something that I am good at, because, well, it's definitely not Wordle, something I am good at, or consider myself good at, let's be honest, is command block coding. How about we try to code Wordle into Minecraft? We're going to be doing this a little bit different from the regular Wordle, because, I mean, the thing with Wordle is all of the words exist. It has to be an existing word. If I were to do that, I would have to code every single possible word into the game. And while I could do that, I also want to have this video done before next June. So the way we're going to be doing it is we're going to be making use of mob spawn eggs. We're going to let the game randomly generate a string of 5 animals or mobs. Oh yeah, this was not the right combination right there. Random string of 5, it's also on peaceful. A random string of 5 mobs that are now used on fire. Okay, let's just do it without the example. A random string of 5 mobs that you have to guess and that you have to place in manually. Then there's gonna be a little display that shows how many of the mobs you got correctly and how many mobs are actually in the game but just not in the right spot. You've got then a limited amount of guesses, and if you don't guess the right string of mobs before the end, you lose. Now, the game is probably not going to be as entertaining as Wordle, because, yeah, you know, you can technically always guess this one, or maybe it's just a 50-50, and with Wordle, of course, you need to have, you know, the knowledge about what words exist, which is the whole reason why I hate it. I don't know words, what's a word? But we would just want to see if we can make the concept work. Here we have made our field, or our play area. It's gonna be fairly simple. If you get a mob correctly in the right spot, a square turns green. If you have it correct but in the wrong spot, it turns yellow. And if you have it incorrect completely, it turns grey. Then, if you look at the bottom here, there is these black squares. Now these black squares are actually going to be detecting the mobs that you spawn. The reason there's a bool under that is because we need a way to detect that. I've got something in mind how I want to do that, and I need some distinguishing, so we got some colors under there. Now to first start off with making a database of all of the mobs that we got in there. So these are the ones we got. Now, I'm kind of thinking on how I'm going to do this, but what we need to do is we need to make a randomizer that puts all of these randomized blocks in a row. This is quite difficult, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I know how to do this. I'm just trying to think of a way to be able to do this with as little command blocks as possible. The way I'm going to be doing this is I made a randomizer. This might not look like a randomizer, this looks like a bunch of armor stands holding hand. We're going to set up a chain of command blocks that makes every single one of these armor stands decide which one of these glass blocks is going in which one of these locations. This might sound a bit confusing, so let me just show you what I mean. Okay. This command, it does a very simple thing. It just makes one of these armor stands clone that block they're standing on to one of these locations. Now we have to do is we have to add some chain command blocks that doesn't matter if they're conditional, always active, with the block next to it, so that's -31. So basically, if I trigger this first command block, there we go. We got a random assortment of blocks. I think we got... no, this is brown. And if I trigger it again, it is different. And for some reason, a quite nice color combination for a website. It seems to work absolutely amazingly. Now the next part is this command, which tests if this block is the same block as that block. So like right now, it isn't. So that block doesn't change. But if it is the same block, so red wool, in this case, that block changes to lime. Now we have to set up this for all of the other blocks. And then we actually have to set up the annoying part, which is seeing if it matches with any other block. Yeah, this is gonna take a while. Oh, help. It took a little bit of a command blocking, but now, probably, hopefully, if this block is the same as this block, this turns green. Why did this one run? Why? Okay, it took some figuring out, but apparently it just screws up if there's air, which means this system works. So all of these match, which means that all of these should turn green. Yeah. None of these match, which means that all of these should turn... Well, they should stay clear. Uh-huh. And every single one of these has their block, but in a different location, which means that all of these should turn orange. Or, well, yellow, I guess. So yeah, this works. Next thing we have to make is we have to make the inputs. We have to make sure that if you place a mob in a location, it's gonna alter this row. Wait, it was this row, right? This row's the randomizer? I don't know. I took like a 5-hour break. This row's the randomizer, so they have to place the corresponding blocks there. First of all, I added some command blocks under here, which will remove the AI from any of the mobs that are spawned on top of here. Let's take, for example, a parrot, which would normally instantly fly away. That will now stay where it is. And it doesn't matter where I put it on this block, they will stay. I don't know how to set these blocks with different classes without adding at least one command block for every single mob, for every single possible location. Which means that in this example we have, I think, 16 mobs in 5 examples, so that's 5 times 16, that's a lot. But I guess, yeah, I guess we're gonna have to do it. So for example, this is the first row. These 5 command blocks check if there's an axolotl on one of these 5 plates. And if there is an axolotl on one of these 5 plates, the corresponding glass will change. So to do a little bit of a test, we're going to put one on white, magenta, and yellow. Only on white, magenta, and yellow. If I place all of these here, white, magenta, and yellow, very good. That is perfect. Now we have to do this for 15 other mobs. Alright. That was a lot of command blocks. That was a very big chunk, but that now means that we've got the next part of this project finished. So we add a little bit of an enter key. Now this looks very weird. Trust me, I'll do something with that. But basically what we're gonna have to do is when you click enter, it's going to run all of the commands that are needed to run. As well as this button, which is going to be the backspace or the delete button. So you can actually, you know, if you make a mistake, you can actually remove that. So the first one is actually going to be quite easy. It's going to be repeat command block on always active. That's just going to test if that block, which is the enter button, is pressed, which is quite easy. There we go. If we press this, very good. These rows of command blocks have been added in, which means that this should work. The majority of this should work. Now, the scoreboard isn't set in yet, but that's just gonna have to be linked to the blocks that are on top of here, which I'm not quite sure how I'm gonna be doing that. We'll figure that out. But first, let's see if it somewhat works. So let's see, we're gonna need brown, magenta, light gray, lime, and gray. Brown, magenta, light gray, lime, gray. Brown, magenta, that's purple. Right? If I press this button, all of those should become lime. Not quite. Also, these mobs should have been killed. Okay, the problem has been fixed. There is only one thing that is not quite correct, which, well, let me just give an example. Let's randomize it. Let's say we have black, which is a Vex. There's only one black in here. Now let's say I were to add a vex to every single spot here, it would tell me that there's 1 vex in the right spot, but there's 4 vexes in the wrong spot. Which isn't correct, because there's only 1 vex in the right spot, there's only 1 vex in here. I don't really know how to fix this. I might think of a solution later on, but I don't know for now. I'm going to not worry about this, because I've been working on this for way longer than it looks. If I can't fix this, that's an extra difficulty. If I can fix this, then yay. But let's first try to just finish the entire thing. We're gonna have to link this to the scoreboard. And I think the main difficulty is that every time we play, it has to go down 1 line. There were a lot of command blocks to code here, and I had to individually manually change every single one of these. We've got a system that displays the outcome correctly. So as you can see right here, it is green, yellow, and green, yellow. But I did this, by the way, with falling blocks. That way it automatically determines which one of these rows needs to be altered. Also, I'm sure you can hear it in my voice, it is very early in the morning. I only just woke up and I decided to finish this. We now need a system that detects whether someone has won the game or whether someone has lost the game. Winning the game is going to be an easy one. We're going to have to check if one of these rows is all light blues. And with light blues, of course, I mean lines. Very early. The way we'll do that is quite simple. We got a row of fully limes right here, and we're just going to be checking if this row is the same as any of these. Should be quite simple. This right here should be the detection system complete. Now we're going to do a little bit of a test through to see if it's correct. So I just randomized the blocks, and if I press this button, this row should all become blue, which means the block next to the first purple one right there should turn into a redstone block. No. Did I not set these to active? Alright, well, issues fixed. Don't know why that needs to be done, because I've never needed to do that, but let's just add the word replace after all of these. Alright, let's give it another tester, but also test the other lines. So, first one. Yes. Okay, this is working. We now have some titles to help us decide whether someone has won or lost, which this one should say 2 out of 6. Absolutely awesome. Now we have to do the more difficult one, which is finding out if someone has lost. So we now have to check if this isn't the same as this. So it's pretty much the polar opposite of this one. It took a few extra command blocks, but I think I've got it figured out. So let's see. And no. Back to the drawing board. Wait, are they still all set to yellow? Ah, the command blocks weren't active. Okay, cool. This actually means that we're almost done. All we need to do is add in a start button. Oh, and an easy way for the player to get the eggs. That one isn't too difficult. Let's start with the start button. And I think with these extra few command blocks added, this area is done. The game should be fully operational. And yes, it still has the thing where it doesn't display the yellow ones correctly because there's only one of them. But it's fine. It's fine. Okay, one thing that I am noticing though is that this line is like it's not. Okay, that's better. Now let's see if it actually works by doing some playtesting. This is also a problem. Okay, playtesting. Oh, wait. The textures. Okay, let's do the textures. Okay, now that these are done, let's actually try to play around. Oh. Okay. Okay, this one isn't a goat. I only have one guess left, so this isn't great. This one isn't a goat, but it is one that is already on the board. So it's either an evoker. It's also not a fox, so it's either an evoker or a llama. 50-50. I'm gonna go evoker. It was a llama! It might be a tad difficult, but at least it's working. Anyways guys, hold up, was that Bigwig? I'm checking if that was Big Week. I'm recording out of order. Oh my, this was the final video of Big Week. Oh, that's actually kind of sad, isn't it? I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys enjoyed Big Week. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.